Greetings, GameCola faithful, and welcome to the GameCola podcast. This is podcast number 96, and I am your host and podcast commander, Joseph Martin. With me today, I have Anna Bryniarski and Alex Jedraszczak. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Anna Bryniarski, and I'm currently dying from school.
And I am Alex the Jeddy Jedraszczak, editor-in-chief of GameCola.net, gaming outside the mainstream, and lately I am dying of work, so...
What kind of work, Jeddy? Perhaps integral to the opinions of people who listen to this podcast?
There may actually be, in fact. Lately, one of the things that I've been working on, as you could imagine, as you could hope, as you would perhaps expect from my position, is the new GameCola website.
Yay!
Woo!
For those of you who don't know, in addition to just being like the general editor-in-chief, Jeddy does a lot of the website, has done over the years. Even before you were the editor-in-chief.
This is true.
You did most of the website design. Did you do it for the first, like, when GameCola became a website instead of a newsletter?
I believe I was a very small amount involved, and then I think in 2013, maybe, there was like an update. And I was heavily involved in that. That was primarily me.
Was that the chat update?
Yes, that was part
chat.
of it. Yeah, that's right, the chat.
I remember the chat.
Those were time.
Interesting days.
Yes, experimental. But no, there's been a ton of updates to WordPress, and I've basically... See, I actually had been, basically since I took over, I had been working on building the new site, and I had done this and that and worked on it here and there. And then when the site went down, I just decided to restart it from scratch because WordPress updates so often. Since I started this new project, I've already had to update WordPress like 4 times. This is like basically like once a month. Yeah, no, things are going very well. It's to the point where I've been discussing it with our host of actually like doing the shift to go from the like staging platform to actually being in quote production. I've imported the data. I've made all the necessary updates. We'll actually have a nice looking mobile view, which I know has been.
I've seen the mobile view. It looks pretty sweet.
Yes. Oh, for those on the podcast, this is the general look of the new site.
Other sites by our staff.
By Live in the Dorms. Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah. There's definitely some temporary content.
We need to make it about Cat President.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should let's talk about Cat President.
Well, here let me before
finish.
we move on, or maybe I should just wrap up. I mean, was there anything else really for me to say? Like, I don't know where I left what I was saying. Was that the news that was coming?
You just said you were just talking about the stuff that you finished. Like you've imported all the graph, like the visual design is all set up.
Yes. So most of it is set up. It's not quite ready for prime time, and there's still a lot of like behind the scenes, stuff for the editors and for the contributors that still needs to be set up. But the front page of the site is basically ready. We're just kind of in discussion of, fixing the final minor issues and moving it to prime time. So very excited about that.
Woo!
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be able to hear this podcast like when this discussion of the hiatus is still relevant.
Yeah.
If you've been having trouble following the podcast recently, it's because I've been posting them to SoundCloud recently, but SoundCloud only wants you to have a certain amount of time with a free account, and it's not really designed for that. Free account system isn't really designed for podcasts. Because it's like, I think it's like a 3-hour time limit.
Oh, so that's fine if you're making like pop songs that are like 2 minutes long.
Right. But if you're making, hour and a half long podcast, that's like 2 or 3. So my SoundCloud is currently like really mad at me because I sort of went really far over that limit by like an hour. And so now it's just giving me trouble. Like I tried like removing stuff, but it still like doesn't want to let me upload again. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. So I'm trying to find other alternatives at this point.
Well, I mean, again, hopefully the site will be back shortly and we can do like a spam of like, hey, here's all that you missed.
Okay, so let's moving on to it is called Cat President, a More Perfect
Yes.
Union, right? So editor emeritus Paul Franzen and current staff member Michael Gray have been working on this game called Cat President. It's a visual novel dating sim. I would say inspired by Hatful Boyfriend, right? Like, I don't think that's a stretch to say.
Yeah. I mean, anything by Paul Franzen is probably influenced by Hatful Boyfriend.
So it's a game where there are these cats, and it's sort of like Hatful Boyfriend, where like it's images of actual cats and other animals, and you help them on their campaign trail, and also I assume date them while helping them on their campaign trail.
I hope so. If not, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I mean, no, there's definitely dating mechanics. I don't know
Okay,
how.
thank God.
I think because it's on. If you're interested, you should go and look it up on Steam. Do you have to like go to a certain part of Steam? I don't know what it's called. Steam Greenlight. It's on Steam Greenlight right now at about I think almost 50%.
Well, I think pretty much everything gets on Steam Greenlight these days.
Because last I heard from Paul, it was 43%, and then after that, I think there was a news article on it from some website.
Oh yeah, I did.
So
hear
I would
about
think
that.
that would have given them another boost since then.
Well, also, I mean, Paul is famous. He is actually on IMDb.
For Awkward Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. So yeah, check it out on Steam Greenlight. If you're interested, give it the thumbs up. Yes, I'm interested in this, and help them come out on Steam.
Yeah.
And buy it when it comes out. I've got a rockin' ukulele track hidden in there somewhere.
Oh, do you?
I do. I can tell you where. Jeddy, you might know. Paul might have just told you.
No, actually, he was asking me if he could use one of my Pizzerian songs in the game.
So yeah, check it out. It's gonna be a good time, and I think their plan is to get it out before the election season is over. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That might be a good idea.
Well, I think as the elections get closer and closer, it'll be more and more relevant.
I don't know. I mean, the election season, quote unquote, started like a year ago. So
right,
I feel like any time.
It'll start to later this year. It'll start to ramp up.
Is that possible?
I don't look. This isn't a politics podcast, Jeddy. I don't. If anybody's really taking us at our word on this sort of thing, they've come to the wrong podcast.
I'm looking at these comments on the Steam Greenlight page for Cat President, and some of these people are being really rude.
Really?
Yeah. And Paul's just responding to them like, okay, well, bye.
Paul's nice. He responds to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, it's not a game for everyone. There's a very certain kind of person who would be into this, or maybe a certain group of people who would be into this game. But it's definitely not for everyone. So that is that. Oh, speaking of visual novels, are you guys familiar with Normal Boots?
I was playing that just before the podcast started.
Jeddy,
so yes, I know what you're talking about. Sorry.
I've heard the name, but I'm...
JonTron.
Oh, yeah.
Peanut Butter Gamer, Pro Jared, Continue, with a question mark.
Yeah.
The Completionist, Satchbag, and Did You Know Gaming. I think that's all of them. I'm going to feel really bad if I missed one.
Yeah, they're famous enough.
So they have their website group that they formed.
Yeah.
And a long time ago, they did a group of people, not them personally, did a Kickstarter to make a dating sim where you can date members, those people basically, in a high school setting, I think.
Yeah.
So in the game, what's it called? I don't know how
I
to
can't pronounce it.
It's Asago Academy. I don't know where
Something
the name
like
comes from. Yeah, Asagao Academy.
Asagao? Like morning face?
Asagao.
Yeah, like morning face, I guess. I don't know why they would choose that.
I don't know. It might be it either means something or it's a joke about how lots of dating sims will, or like dating sims, I guess, or just like anime visual novel type things.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
usually just like Japanese word, English word. It doesn't really mean anything. Like Sakura Spirit, which is just like it's no
cherry
relevance. Yeah, it's just like Japanese word, English word.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a high school setting, right? And
Mhm.
then the members of Normal Boots, it's like a club at the school, and so I kind of want to see if we can get Diana to bring her visual novel dating sim expertise to it, because I don't know how familiar. Because it would be fun, like if she's not familiar with the group, to like if I like I did it with her, so like she knows how to do the visual novel, and I know what the heck is going on and what everything's being referenced to.
I
Or
love
Anna,
it so far. It's great.
it's good.
It's cute. They
Have you
also
have you
have
gotten through like an ending yet?
no, it just came out yesterday. I just downloaded it this morning. I played it
So
between getting to class.
how much time have you spent on it so far?
Maybe about 2 hours, an hour and a half.
Okay.
I'm still on a point where it's just like, hey, you're still meeting everyone. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay. So you're still probably at the part that you would be able to skip through
Yes.
if you wanted to take an alternate path.
Yes.
Because I think it's like for each set or group or something, there's like 3 different endings.
Yeah.
So
I was looking at Twitter and Pushing Up Roses, who's friends with some of the people on Normal Boots, she was playing through it. She said that the only one who would actually go out with her was Pro Jared.
So that's that. Check it out if you're interested. I think it's free, right?
It's free, yeah.
But you can also donate if you want, if you feel so inclined. So that's that. I don't want to hog all the. Is there anything else any other news that anybody wants to bring up?
It's GameCola's birthday today as we're recording.
I actually just noticed that as I was looking at the Twitter feed on GameCola's new website, and Paul was saying that happy birthday, GameCola. He started it in high school, and he's pretty sure it is old enough to be in high school now.
It would be 14.
Yeah.
So probably.
Freshman year.
Yeah, freshman.
Don't get mixed up in the wrong crowd, GameCola.
Wait, it's April, so it probably would be another until August. August is the 8th month, so 4 months. 4 months until high school. It would still be in 8th grade.
Oh, yeah.
GameCola's going through its angsty phase. That's why it went on hiatus.
Yes. It ran away from home.
Don't understand, Mom. Games are outside the mainstream.
Speaking of Kickstarted games, which we were doing a moment ago, actually, if any of you recall, I posted a commentary. I believe it was called "Coming September 2016" or 2015. Coming September 2015, I believe, about all of the games I kickstarted that apparently were trying to come out at the same time, and we're all failing. All failing to do so several
like
years
an old GameCola article or a more recent GameCola article. I remember. I think it was an article.
Yeah. I mean, well, it was like a blog post, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it. Okay, it's the same one I'm remembering. Then I didn't know if you had done a new one.
Oh no. This was in September 2015. One of them finally came out. I believe the beginning of this month. It may have actually been the beginning of last month. I don't remember. But the point is, I've been playing it, which means that I've been playing a video game. I know.
Oh, crap.
I know. What is the world coming to?
This is what happens when GameCola goes on hiatus.
Yes, exactly. But yes, I've been playing Hyper Light Drifter.
That sounds fun. I don't know what it is, but it sounds fun.
No,
No, it's not.
I mean, yes, it is. Yes. I was gonna see if I could pull up, like, I might have made some posts about it on the old G-Coles. Let's see, did I?
Oh, wow. Hyper Light.
It looks
fancy.
Wait.
Oh, I've seen this.
Coming 2015, a Kickstarter story. That's what it was.
I've seen this. Yeah, I saw some of this come out when people played it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I only saw like the first few minutes.
Yeah.
but it looked kind of more like a game that was more fun to play than it was to watch.
It's not fun to watch. I
I
mean,
mean-
I've been playing.
Right. I mean, it was just like, I mean, like the visuals are cool.
Yeah.
But it's like without the gameplay, without like being
Yeah.
hands-on with the gameplay, it's kind of just like waiting until you get to the new cool visuals again. Because there's like definitely, again, I only saw like the first like 25 minutes maybe of someone playing.
Yeah.
Which also includes like menu time and like just the
Yeah.
opening cutscene. And there is, at least up to that point, there was very much like the whole game looks nice, but there was very much like this is a gameplay moment, this is a cinematic moment. Like even
Yeah.
though you're still playing, like this is like, you go to the cliff edge and like look out over everything and see how nice it looks. And then
Yeah.
you go back to playing.
Yeah.
And so like it's kind of like which is a fine way to have a game and play it, and it's fun. But like just watching it, it's kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'm just sort of biding my time until we get to see the next cool thing.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the same effect when you're just watching it as opposed to like you discovering this thing or whatever. Especially, I guess, like for me, the most fun is that like they actually have gone all out with like secret areas or like hidden areas and stuff, which I guess I realize to me it's fun to just like walk into walls and be like, I think there's going to be a hidden path here. Oh, look, I was right. Or like, let me try jumping onto this ledge, and I'm going to bet that if I jump onto that ledge, there will be another ledge that I can jump onto. And then there will be like a secret thing that I can like open up, which will show me like a hidden path. And then I get there, and then there's nothing. Which to me, it was fun and it was worth the venture. But perhaps somebody watching, it would not be quite as exciting.
It also looked like the first time I really saw the menu interface, it looked like there's a lot of complexity to it, like, or at least lots of like upgradables.
There are, but I feel like the pacing is good, and like, I guess don't be daunted by what you see on its face. It's a lot of stuff you don't really have to be too concerned about. And like, honestly, you don't use the menu really while you're playing. It's just kind of like remind yourself, oh, did I buy this? Like, how much money do I have? I don't know. It's a fun game. I enjoy it. I like stuff that has secrets, and it has them. And actually, I guess what's most interesting to me is that I feel like I'm pretty good at finding secret things, and I found a lot of them. But then about halfway through the game, I realized, like, apparently I'm missing a significant amount because there's a lot of things that I should be unlocking by now. Like, you will find keys out and about, and there are doors that take, like, 15 keys, and I have 3.
So it's like the idea is like it's a cumulative thing. So like you don't lose it's like you need to have it's like Mario 64.
Yeah,
where
at
you
least
have to have a certain amount of stars, and then you can get in the door, but you don't have to like pay the stars to unlock the door.
Yeah, at least I'm pretty sure, because I only just got my 3rd key, which I think is like the base level, the lowest door that you can open. So I haven't even opened a door yet because I stopped playing like shortly after getting that, and have not gotten back to town to try it out. But yeah, like there's 2 things. Is like, number 1, you get these like, you pull up these things from the ground, like you're going around, I guess, like unlocking or turning something on or something, and like it lights up these like triangles on your menu screen, and like you need 4 to complete each area, but there's 8.
Okay.
And like there's 8 in each area, but there's only 4 that's required. And like I know I've definitely found like secret ones. Like I have 5 in one area and I have like 7 in another. But to say that I found 7 and I felt pretty satisfied with my level of like searching, or am I missing number 8? I don't know. It's been fun. It's been an adventure. I don't really have that much time to play it, so it's like a couple hours each week. As I've said, between work, and going to work where I actually get paid. But
Right.
Yes, between working full time and working on GameCola in the evenings and stuff, I don't have a lot of time to be playing video games, but I do on occasion.
Anna, have you been playing anything particularly interesting? Or just anything. It doesn't have to be particularly interesting.
I've been playing solitaire a lot.
That is a video game. Is it like base computer solitaire or like a special kind of solitaire like that you downloaded?
Solitaire on my iPad. Oh, I've also been playing Tetris Friends, like on the Tetris Friends website again.
Tetris Friends?
I've been battling people playing Tetris.
You play Tetris against random people?
Yes.
How do you know it's another person and not just like a computer that they're pretending is another person?
I don't know, and I honestly don't care.
What was it that I used to play? I used to play on Facebook Tetris something. I
Tetris
don't
Battle,
think it was
'cause
Tetris.
that's exactly what this is.
Okay, yeah. Because I think the thing is that I had a friend who told me I should be playing Tetris Friends instead of the one that I was playing, which I think is Tetris Battle. I got to level 100 in Tetris Battle, which is like the max you can get.
Hmm.
I'm very good at Tetris.
Can you do the Tetris speed runs like at?
Okay, actually, I'm not particularly amazing at Tetris itself. I'm just better than most people.
Okay.
Which is all that you have to do to beat Tetris Battle, is be better than other people. Although what was comical is that in the lower levels, you're usually playing against, like what you were saying, like, are you sure that it's a person and not just a bot? In the like very lowest levels, it's mostly real people. Then from like 50 to 70, it's almost 100% just bots. So like,
How do you tell?
you can tell from their play style because they do the exact same thing every time. It's a randomized game, so like within limits, but you see extremely specific patterns that are played out over and over again. And I got in the habit of, instead of playing as fast as I could to get the most points, I would time and I would be like, okay, I know that they're going to, strike very soon. Like when you make a line,
Mhm.
it'll like send blocks over your way and like do bad things to you or whatever.
Right.
I could tell when that was going to happen, so I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to pause. Like, I just sent out a bunch of lines. I'm going to pause, wait for them to fill me up so that I don't get knocked out, and then I'll come back. And then, like, or I know that they are, like, getting very close to the top because they're, like, about to strike, and I'll just fill them up then. And, like, every game was, like, 30 seconds, and I was done because bots always play the same. But then after like level 70 or 80, it started to be more people again. I was like, oh, okay, this is actually moderately challenging because they're not necessarily going to do the exact same thing again.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that. I just go, hey, I'm gonna play Tetris. I've also been replaying Little Inferno, which is...
Oh, wait. Didn't we have is that one that we had a review?
It seems like the kind of game we would have had a review for. I remember when it was a thing.
Like you have a fireplace that you need to burn things in or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Sounded cool.
Actually, it's pretty hot, Jeddy.
Whoa!
That's the most basic joke when someone says it's cool about a thing that's generally warm, and then you say, "Ha, it's hot" instead. It's the pinnacle of comedy.
Yeah.
No one's ever thought of it before.
Yay. But yeah, that's it.
So, does anyone want to hear some slightly exciting Mega Man news?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You sound really into it, Jeddy.
Yes, let's hear about...
So, if you've been listening to the podcast, then you're probably familiar with the fact that the Mega Man has a TV show in development.
I have heard that on the podcast.
Release date is set for sometime in 2017, and it's being made by the people who made Ben 10 and Generator Rex. Those are the big ones that they've done. But recently, one of the main people there did an AMA about like book, because he writes books too, and he mentioned that they've finished the pilot episode for it.
Yay.
So it's coming along. I don't know if we're gonna get to see, because you know how like sometimes pilot episodes for shows will be shown like a while before they come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or before their like main thing, like even if they get picked up.
Yeah. Like
I remember Steven Universe did that. Okay. KO, which I think was called Lakewood Plaza Turbo. It had a pilot a long time before it got its whole video game adaptation sort of thing. Loud House, I think, is another one where I don't know if it was really a pilot as much as a short, but like they still upload like a thing about it, and now it's coming out soon. But like that was a while ago. So I'm hoping that we'll get to start seeing like previews of it because I really want to know like what sort of style they're going for with it.
Yeah, like, is it gonna be? I thought of the name of it. I know there was another recent Mega Man like anime, and I'm completely blanking.
You mean not the original TV show?
Not the like '80s one, but there was one.
Not the Battle Network anime.
I think that's the one that I'm thinking of.
The Mega Man Battle Network TV show.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like that in terms of visual style. Because if you can find some original promotional material for the Ruby Spears early '90s one, and it has like it has a visual style that's closer to the games, like everyone's more squat and cartoony.
Yeah.
But apparently that didn't test well at the time, so that's why they changed it into the more like realistic proportioned version. But I mean, I can kind of imagine it because like those people. Let me find the name again.
Mega Man Star Force, is that what I'm thinking of?
That's like the sequel to Battle Network. It might have been Man of Action Entertainment. This is expected to air sometime in 2017. See, like, there's not like news about it, you know. Like everything, like whenever I look up stuff to try to find it, like I have only stuff that's like from last year. not like updates. Like I want updates.
Yeah.
No, this is just an article that says it's still happening. Definitely still happening.
This is definitely still a thing, we promise.
Oh, they found I think they found someone found the logo. It looks like someone might have found the logo that they've trademarked for the show. That's the best.
Like, that's kind of disappointing though, right?
What do you mean?
Like that's the best thing you can get.
Oh, well, yeah. But it's better than nothing, you know? I mean, like, beggars can't be choosers. I'm excited for it, but I want to hear it. While we're at it, let's, the Mighty Number 9 TV show.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about...
It's supposed to come out. I also talked about this last time.
Yeah, or I guess 2 times ago.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Last time I talked about, the Mega Man TV show.
I think you talked about how much you disliked Mighty Number 9 previously. Or at least that you were not impressed.
I'm disillusioned more. This might be contradicting what I said 2 months ago. I won't deny that. But my current feelings right now are more disillusioned more than anything else because I was really excited for it. Yeah. And now I'm definitely not really excited for it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that happened with it that I'm not super happy about.
I mean, it would be sad if the cartoon came out before the game.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Inafune's wanted to make an anime for like, you know, since the beginning almost. It feels like remember Mega Man 8 that really wanted to be an anime instead of a video game, and then like all the Mega Man X games after X4, right? Like they just started throwing in a bunch of anime cutscenes into everything.
Yeah. By the way, while we're talking about previews, I thought I would show you guys a little preview of the new site. You can see here in NewSite.JPEG.
Good. Yes. Beautiful.
What is this? Is this actually a picture of the old site?
This is a picture. It is definitely. It says new site in upload /2010/01 NewSite.JPEG.
Did you find?
I was importing all of the media from the existing site into the new site, and I came across this, and I thought it was quite, you know, topical or whatever. Topic. Like, I guess I just like looking at the logo and seeing the like the prototype of the logo.
Mm-hmm. There's like part of me that wants to like try to register just the head as the G instead of like the whole body.
Yeah, because that's how it is currently.
Right.
But I guess the whole body was supposed to be the G originally.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it just looks like it says Amola.
I can see the C. The C works. The G doesn't quite work in the original logo.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still. I mean, if you're on the site, you probably know what it's called, so you can figure it out. Oh, here we go. I found something.
Mega Man? Yeah.
No, Mighty Number 9 TV show. But its release is Q2 of 2016, which that's pretty soon.
Like technically, I think that started.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be any time in this, so it's probably I'm imagining it later. Or in Mighty Number 9 spirit, maybe it'll just be delayed a year. Just to keep up with everything. I think the same thing happened last time I tried to search a quarter. Google calculated what 1/4 times 2 is, as in a quarter of 2. April, May, and June. So sometime in the next couple of months, assuming that, it hasn't been delayed again. Rumble, grumble. I guess the show hasn't been delayed, but something Mighty Number 9 related being delayed. And here's the thing. Target audience, kids 6 to 11. That's not, isn't the whole backbone of Mighty Number 9 the reference to Mega Man?
I think actually you guys talked about that a bit on the last podcast I listened to as well.
I did.
Like in general, we were talking about Pac-Man, the cartoon. It is strange if Mighty Number 9 is supposed to be targeted. Isn't it supposed to be targeted at Mega Man fans?
I mean, that's where the kickstart. I mean, it's just visually, it's Mega Man. In terms of gameplay, I think it's actually really different in a lot of ways, which isn't necessarily bad, but it is different. But visually, it's like Mega Man. The characters and everything are very clearly supposed to refer back to Mega Man. So it's I can understand that since it's a TV show and a cartoon CG animation TV show that you got to skew younger for that. But 6 to, I feel like you want to go to more preteen, 11 to 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Rather than 6 to 11, because kids 6 to 11 aren't gonna be attracted to it. They're not gonna know what's going on with this thing.
Also, I feel like 11 to 14, you can make in such a way, like Avatar: The Last Airbender or something. You can make it where it also still appeals to adults, whereas 6 to 11 is a little young to make anything that will still appeal to adults.
Mm-hmm. I feel like 6, but also I worry that sometimes I feel like the idea is that it's you write the show thinking oh, this would be cool for this age demographic, and then it's I don't want to actually try this hard to make it good. Oh, we'll just knock the demographic down a peg, and then we don't have to try as hard because it's for younger kids.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really what I think I mentioned this too, but I think that's really what happened mostly with Pac-Man. I think Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures was an extreme of that. Mm-hmm. But I think it was originally conceptualized to be more serious, and then they decided that they didn't want to try to write as well, so they just made it for a younger audience, so they wouldn't have to try very hard to write it.
I don't know. I guess my feeling about Mighty Number 9 is it was advertised as bringing back Mega Man, and it's more intended to be Mega Man for a new generation. Mm-hmm. Which is a slightly different concept, because instead of being what Mega Man was for the people who liked Mega Man then, it's a new Mega Man, the concept of what Mega Man was, again, for the age group that it was originally, which is kind of not exactly what people paid for.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it really feels more like just starting Mega Man over from the beginning, but in the current market.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the game itself looks a lot more like Mega Man X. It's a lot more fast-paced with the dashing, especially, the way the dashing works. And, the idea that you're supposed to defeat, and a part of it is that you're supposed to try to defeat these enemies as fast as you can. You get combo bonuses and stuff.
Yeah.
So instead of the enemies being the challenge themselves, is more, how can I do these enemies destroy these enemies the quickest?
Yeah.
And the challenge comes more from that rather than the innate difficulty of the enemies themselves. So an enemy becomes more difficult not because of how it was placed, but because of, not just because of how it was placed, but because like, oh, I need to try to do this thing in order to get a higher score combo. But like, if you don't care about the score combo, which I'm pretty sure I won't really when I play it, then it's like, I worry that it's just going to be super easy and straightforward because it's designed for you to try to be more reckless.
Like, I think, was it, I want to say I was playing Devil May Cry or Devil May Cry 2, and that, like, I thought I did pretty decently at the game, but I kept getting, like, C's and D's, and it won't let you progress to the next level if you get, like, a D. I'm like, I thought I did fine. Can I just continue? Because I don't care that much about playing perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite like that, but it doesn't seem as Mega Man, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the main reason I was interested in this was because it was Mega Man. So, like, the more you deviate away from that, the more you're going towards a new target audience, which I really think is what they're trying for. And a very bleak way of putting it is that they just wanted to get Mega Man fans interested in it to pay for it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to necessarily say, because we don't know if that's true, and that's more, I think that a lot of that talk is just fueled by completely justified frustration.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I don't know if that's exactly the case. And, you know, I don't know, like, how things changed, like, once they started working on it. Like, maybe they had a very different idea of what it would be when they started, and then it sort of turned into something else, which is fine. But it's becoming less and less interesting for me. Also, if it's going to be Mega Man, how are they going to do all the sequels? Because it's right now it's Mighty Number 9. You can have Mighty Number 9 2, Mighty Number 92, or like Mighty Number 10. Like, I don't know if we thought this part through very well.
Start
They're
using
going to try to make another one. Which makes me think that they're maybe not planning on making another one. Because I think they're going, like they're skipping right to basically Mega Man Legends, I think, in their, like, reboot. Like, if you treat this as, like, starting over from scratch, like, they started with Mega Man 1, and then they skipped to Mega Man Legends, which I think was another game that, like, a big appeal of it was its relation to Mega Man rather than the core. Like, I'm sure I haven't played it, and I've only seen some of it, so I don't want to, like, bash it, but I'm pretty sure, like, had it not been Mega Man, I don't know, there would definitely not have been as much of like, let's try this. And then people could legitimately get interested in it based on what it was. But I think like a lot of that trying it wouldn't have happened were it not already Mega Man.
Mm.
And it wasn't necessarily something about the format that drew people. But without Mighty Number 9 already bringing in a lot of interest, the connection that Red Ash is supposed to have to it doesn't really mean anything. It's like, oh, hey, look, it's a character that's supposed to be this, you know, the alternate universe equivalent of the female character in Mighty Number 9. Except we haven't done anything in Mighty Number 9, so this doesn't mean anything to me.
Red Ash just makes me think of Pokemon.
Red Ash and Blue Gary. So that's another Mighty Number 9 rant. In case you're interested, it is also coming. It is coming out Q2 2016. I don't know if we know when that is. They said we expect it to realistically be in spring 2016. Spring, huh?
It's still spring.
It is still spring, but I don't know.
They have time.
They haven't been talking about it at all, you know?
It's
Like maybe they haven't been doing any announcement stuff or maybe people aren't following it as much because interest has waned so much after all of the delays. But I haven't heard anything about like, oh yeah, it's coming out soon. Everybody get ready. Like there's been no like new promotional material recently. Like when would you say spring ends?
June.
June?
In like
I
late
see.
June.
Like I know a lot of things that are coming.
I mean, when is the summer solstice?
I think, yeah, June. I'm just saying that there's a lot of stuff that's coming out in June that is, like, ramping, like, up advertisements right about now. So, I don't know. After 3 delays, I remain skeptical, but we'll have to see. All right, there's a Mega Man related rant for anybody who missed it last podcast.
Video games.
Video games.
Video games. They're pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Anything else coming out that we're excited about?
GameCola's new website.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeddy, but we already talked about that. Unless you had some more stuff for the people who stuck around past the initial.
Did I talk about the new mobile site? Because people complain about that a lot.
You did talk about the new mobile site.
There's a random article in the sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Let's talk about alcohol in video games in celebration of I can now drink alcohol legally.
Oh.
As of 10 days ago.
Merry birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. So, alcohol in video games. Thing springs to mind immediately is Conker's Bad Fur Day, which opens with the main character intoxicated.
Yep. I don't know very much about that game.
I just always think of like all of the clear references to alcohol that were like vaguely censored out of like Super Nintendo games, like Harvest Moon, where you go to the bar and the girl's like, here, have this juice that I made, and then you like drink it and you wobble around for a bit like red-faced. Like, yes, I am definitely drinking juice at a place that is clearly labeled bar in multiple like locations.
In the game, Read Only Memories, there's an achievement for drinking all of the drinks at the bar, and I discovered that you can only drink a certain amount before you pass out, and you wake up somewhere random that is not the bar, like your home or the police station. But yeah, I have to keep an actual list on my phone, all these drinks, so I don't order them again. Then I'd be there forever.
In Stardew Valley, which is basically Harvest Moon, there's a tavern, and it's since it's just a PC game, it doesn't have to be PC, I guess. And so there's one character. So like one of the things about the game is that you basically get people to like you. The ways you get people to like you are like you can talk to them, you can do there's a poster board where people will randomly put up like things that they need, and if you do those, they'll like you more. Or the fastest way is to just give them stuff. Just give everybody gifts, and they'll just like you a ton, especially on their birthday. If you give someone a birthday present, they get like 2 hearts up. Like immediately in your like little social bar thing. But like so everybody has like there's like certain so like you can't just give anyone anything. And they're also like so there's certain things that people don't like, they're neutral toward, they really like, and then there's like a perfect gift sort of thing where it's like this is the best gift you can give this particular character. And so I've been playing the game without like looking that up. I don't want to game the system my first time through. You know? Mm-hmm. But there's one character who's always in the tavern at night and always gets drinks. And so I am slowly becoming her friend by fueling her very clear alcohol problem.
Oh.
Because like in the game it like does I'm pretty sure it's not programmed this. It doesn't change anything. Like it's not actually like changing how the game works or anything, but like you just become this person's friend by just fueling her rampant alcoholism. And so far I haven't figured out how, like, if it's a problem, because like so far nothing has happened yet because of it. It's just very clear that she just goes to the tavern every night and she gets beer, but like I don't know if like there's never been like an issue in the town or something about it.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm not causing problems.
Everything's probably fine.
Probably fine.
I keep trying to think. I know in the beginning of Chrono Trigger there was a, quote, soda drinking contest, I believe it was. Like, you're supposed to drink something and you're supposed to drink a whole bunch of them really fast. But I also want to say that there was a similar one that was like a chili... Oh, no. That one was Thousand Arms, where you're supposed to have a chili drinking contest, which once again leads you to be red-faced and acting silly.
What? And it's in Chrono Trigger or in a different game?
The chili drinking contest was Thousand Arms. The soda thing was definitely Chrono Trigger at the very beginning when you're at the fair.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah. But again, clear and obvious references to alcohol. That apparently we're not.
This isn't alcohol. What are you talking about? What is alcohol? That's not real.
We're not cleaning anything here.
We don't need any antiseptic.
Don't drink cleaning alcohol, kids.
It tastes really bad.
Also, it's very unhealthy. I think that's the main thing. The part where you might die. I think that's a little more important.
Maybe.
If it tastes bad, you're gonna spit it out, I'd hope.
I think you underestimate the fortitude that people have when it comes to trying new things.
In Rogue Legacy, you can get a character who's a drunkard. I think. I haven't played Rogue Legacy in a really long time.
That's the one where it's like it's where you go into the castle and like you play through it and like when you die it's like your next of kin comes in and you can like choose from like 3 sort of randomized builds that all have like different qualities.
A few months ago, somebody shared this potion-looking thing that was alcohol. It looked pretty neat, but I wasn't 21 yet, so I couldn't really do anything about it.
So it was just like a drink that was like put in a container to make it look like a potion.
Yeah, it was fancy. It was like bright green. I don't know what it was.
I haven't played much of Crystallis, but based on some stuff that I've read, I believe there is a lot of alcohol present.
The El Cholo.
Cholo. I would like to bring up. We're referring to one of the Hacks and Slash episodes where we decided that there needed to be some bad Crystallis fan fiction in the world because there wasn't any. So we wrote one ourselves, like as a GameCola collaboration. And I want to point out that I'm pretty sure 90 to 100% of the alcohol misspellings were me. Like actually trying to, like, not like trying, but like just guessing how to spell alcohol and not really thinking about it. Like I didn't like go in and be like, oh, I'm going to move the H here. I just like didn't try to spell alcohol correctly a bunch of times. And I was incorrect most of the time, which is what I needed for it. So that one was a lot of fun. But yeah, watch out for the villains that will steal all the alcohol.
Yes. All 3 then bumped fists and shouted their war crime. Alchohol. That's one of my favorite lines.
Did we ever we need to get Diana to like, what are those games called where like, it's not virtual reality, but it's like, you know, like where the game is like, oh, there's these websites that you go to and you like pretend like you're actually solving some sort of real world mystery.
ARGs.
Yeah, we need to set up like an ARG type thing where it's like we're actually like posting it in chapters and it's like an actual person posting it and then like people coming in and commenting on the things because like it was written as though people were like responding to it.
Yeah.
As we were going through, and so we need to have like those people actually like responding to the different chapters.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. We did talk about that. That actually having people sign up as the people we talked about in like the author's notes.
Mm-hmm. I kind of just want to go back and listen to that again.
It was pretty good. It is a classic.
It is a classic. Speaking of, have we announced what the next Hacks and Slash is going to be? Because I'm pretty sure it's set, the topic.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't even had time to look through it yet.
But it is decided what it's going to be.
It's probably going to be Hotful Boyfriend. It is probably definitely going to be Hotful Boyfriend. I just need to look through the stuff that I have.
Were you guys planning on doing one or like a compilation like the Phoenix Wright or the Zelda ones?
I totally forgot. I feel bad, but I have not been looking at this.
It's fine. I was just curious. Because it's you and Diana that are working on that, right?
Yeah. Probably.
So that would explain. This is not the kind of time where things like that gets done.
Yeah, it's like too close to the end of the school year, so it's kind of just hopefully over the summer.
Mhm.
hopefully over the summer, some point. That would be neat.
But we also need suggestions. So if you've got suggestions,
Send suggestions. That would be really, really neat. Fantastic.
yeah, because a lot of the time we just look at fanfiction.net, but like we'll take anything as long as it's not completely inappropriate.
And not the same exact person we've been
Yeah.
sort of picking on.
If it's a person we've done before, we're well aware of what else they've written. Whether or not we're gonna do that again after an extended period of time.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be Thoughtful Boyfriend, and it'll be fun.
Which I'm not going to be on because Diana will kill me.
Why will she kill you?
Because I've seen parts of Hatful Boyfriend, but like, I don't know, the way I point out the absurdities in it
Yeah.
really gets under Diana's skin for some reason. Like, because other people do it too, and she's fine with it, but Diana doesn't like it when I specifically, something about the way I do it, when I point out inconsistencies or things that don't make sense in her dating sims, she gets really upset. Which is fun for podcasts, like for no regular podcasts, but I think for one where we actually need to get through the material,
Yeah.
it's probably not very productive.
I thought I saw
Like,
something about something new coming out that had to do with Thoughtful Boyfriend.
besides Holiday Star.
Besides Holiday Star. Diana retweeted something. It was a little while ago. I don't remember though, and I'm kind of hoping that it's not. I don't think I could handle anymore, because those games actually killed me inside, at least a little bit. They're more emotional than they should be. I've been traumatized by birds. Fake birds. It's a sad thing. I tried looking it up, but I gave up quickly.
Here's a question. Do you guys, when you guys play games on your computer, do you sometimes plug in like USB controllers?
Wait, on the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been playing Hyper Light Drifter using an Xbox 360 controller.
So you use the 360 controller, but you don't.
Because
Do you have a 360?
I used to develop for the 360.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. I was gonna say I didn't think you had any consoles that were made after like 1992.
Yeah. No.
But that's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I don't think I've touched it in a couple years, but I have it.
Anna, what about you?
When I play Castle Crashers and Fortune's Tavern, I do stuff like that where it's sometimes multiplayer, or I need to, like if it's an RPG Maker game, I will, but not really, because most of the games I play don't really need a controller.
What kind of controller do you use?
I don't even know what kind it is. I left it in my dorm room, and I'm currently at home, so I can't even get up and look at it.
So it's like just a for computer one. It's not like a one for a system.
Yeah, it's just one that has a USB in it. And you just plug it
Okay.
into the computer.
I use the PS4 controller from our PS4 back home. Now, have you ever used other controllers? Because I've only used the one really.
I've only ever used the plug into the computer kind, and this is only the second one I've had.
So I wouldn't know how to compare them.
Really? I had I bought it in like 2004 or something, like a Logitech. It was basically a PlayStation controller for the computer.
I think that's the kind I have, or at least I did have.
I wish I could do GameCube controller plugged up. It doesn't work. Because I don't know. I like the feeling of this, I guess.
Yeah.
But I just like the, because like I like the not the C stick, the main analog stick being the more upward one, rather than like, because on the PS4 and I think all the PlayStation controllers, it's like the two at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which I guess it works better when there's like games where like one of them is the camera and one of them is the other thing. But I still like the D-pad sort of thing is like in the main spot where I keep my thumb. But like it's usually like one of the worse ways to control the game. But my thumb like more naturally goes to there.
Yeah.
But that might just, I don't know if that's like innate or just habit. I don't know. What about you, Jeddy? What's your opinion on your controller?
Um, I guess the thing is that like the Xbox 360 controller is perhaps not the best to play retro style games.
Right. Because the
Like it's just
D-pad's not very good, is it? From
um
what I recall.
and like the locations, because like you were saying on the PlayStation controller, both of the sticks are like down at the bottom, whereas on the Xbox 360 controller, like one stick is off to the side
Mm-hmm.
and
Like the
like the other one.
GameCube?
Hold on, let me. Well, like basically, okay, um, the D-pad is where the stick would be, and the stick is where the D-pad would be.
For what?
Like if it was a PlayStation controller, they just swapped the spots.
Okay.
So like the two, like there's a D-pad and a stick next to each other, and then off on like the left is the other stick, which is just kind of strange. Like I guess basically when I'm trying to play, like Super Nintendo games or whatever, not only is it like a very big controller, but like you have to hold your hand kind of at an angle to use the D-pad and the buttons. And yeah, like I don't know if it's necessarily the controller's fault or if it's something with the programming, but like honestly, I find it easier sometimes to play using the left stick as the D-pad because like if I'm pressing and holding right, I'll sometimes randomly go up or down instead of going right if I'm using the D-pad. But if I hold right on the stick, it'll properly go to the right. Like there's no question about me going in the direction that I wanted. Like you would think the D-pad or that the stick would be more wiggly, but it's the D-pad that wiggles around a lot.
See, I like what the GameCube did, where it's like the because like in the GameCube, one of the things that the games just don't use the D-pad. Like they just don't. And so it's like really small, and it's sort of like the Xbox. Well, like what they did is the analog stick, instead of just being like a circle,
Yeah.
it's got this
Oh,
octagon groove sort of thing going on.
yeah,
And so like if you want to go like directly, to the
yeah,
left or to the right, you can hold it and it'll go to that position.
yeah,
But if you don't want to, you want it to be more like gradual, like that's still an option, but it's easy to go into the
yeah,
principal directions if you really want to,
yeah,
which I really like. I also like how like the buttons on the GameCube controller are set up, because like it's real, because all the other the other controllers sort of give all the buttons the same sort of treatment,
yeah,
but like a lot of games only use like one or two.
yeah,
And like or like there's a very clear like difference between which buttons are important for what.
yeah,
So with the GameCube, you've got your A button, which is just nice and big,
yeah.
and then you can go to like any of the other buttons from that button.
And also like A is big and green, B is red and small and next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, and so like whenever you're playing the Xbox, it's like, or whenever you're playing PlayStation, it's like, well, which one's square again?
Right.
And like if some game is like trying to teach you, oh well, this is cancel and this is accept and like whatever and this is enter the menu, like it's pretty obvious when like a button is big and green, that's going to be the accept button, and like the red one that you don't want to be pressing, which is smaller so that you don't accidentally hit it, is going to be cancel. That makes logical sense.
And like when you're playing like third party games where they're always like press the and they'll say like the claw button because it's a cross platform and they didn't want to record different voiceovers for the different controls. But it'll show like a picture of it. It's a lot easier because like all the buttons have like different shapes too, right? Or like I mean they're both A and B are both circles, but like it's a big green one and a small red one, and then X and Y are like one is like a horizontal beam and the other is a vertical beam.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, That's what they are.
I mean, they are bean shaped.
There's no getting. I mean, I can't really think of anything else to call it.
Yeah.
Than a bean. But like Mario Party, like there are lots of situations where it's like you got to press these buttons really specifically, really fast. But like it's really easy to tell like what button is. You can just see by shape, even.
Yeah. Well, like you can feel the difference pretty obviously.
And I feel like it's really like I'm holding it right now, and I feel like it's really easy to move between the buttons because you've sort of got that A button in the home, but then like you can easily get to any of the other buttons from that. Whereas like when they're all spaced out, like you're not really going to be hitting X and triangle at the same time, but X is like one of the main buttons most of the time.
Mm.
And so since A is the main button, you can get to any other button pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah,
A.
yeah. Like you don't have to go across two other buttons in order to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so like the way that ends up is like triangle is like almost never used because like you want to just go because X is usually the main button, and then you just go between square and circle.
Yeah.
Because I mean I find that triangle is not used very much for PlayStation stuff. And the Xbox 360 controller, I just remember that. I just don't like how the A, B, Y, X buttons feel.
Mm.
Like, I feel like it's really not geared toward those being used in general. Xbox 360 felt like it was a lot more about the triggers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Halo, Call of Duty.
But, like, more exclusively, like, the control stick trigger setup. Because PS4 like will mix it up, but I felt like the games that I played on Xbox 360 felt very geared towards let's just use the triggers because the buttons like didn't feel like there was as much time put into them.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know. I like how it feels. I like how the GameCube controller feels. Though it is a little weird, like the way they did the Z button. How there's like a second trigger, but it's basically like a second trigger button for the right side, but then the left side only has the one. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
I guess I couldn't put it on the back. Anna, what do you think about controllers?
Controllers are pretty neat. I honestly don't know. I'm sorry. The one I have is pretty nice, I guess.
What about the Wiimote? That's a pretty interesting controller.
Yeah.
It's funny because like lots of people were like upset about how I feel like I don't really remember as much. I feel like weren't lots of people like upset about the design, like they thought it looked stupid.
Yeah. My
but then like
asshole
you
friend,
hold it sideways.
My asshole friend still like has a thing against it. I'm just like, okay, it's 2016, you can get over it now.
But it's funny because if you hold it sideways, it's just an NES controller.
Yep.
With a few more buttons. So it's like, which is like a very standardly accepted, like, yeah, this works.
Yep.
And then it has a control stick attachment, which is fun.
So, we've been at this for an hour and a half? Hour and 36?
An hour and 24 minutes.
That's how long the call has been open.
I don't know, I guess, like, as I've been... See, and that's the thing is I've never had to, like, listen to the podcast before because I was always in them.
Right.
But, like, now that I've been listening to the podcast, I kind of feel like the hour and a half format is a little long.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even my drive to work, as much as I complain about it being about an hour, does not give me the full time to listen to the podcast in one drive. So, I don't know.
I think, yeah, we can call it a podcast, I think.
Podcast.
I mean, sure, podcast means less.
Yeah, I call it a podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone
nice
calls it a podcast.
It's less editing for me during this busy time of year.
Yes.
It's the most wonderful.
That was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
At least 1 month.
At least.
Depending, I mean, someone could be listening to this in the far-off future of December 2016.
Even December 2017.
No, we still have a December.
No, I just mean, what if they're listening to this in?
I mean,
I don't think the world's going to still exist in December 2017. I think we'll be done.
Okay.
Like, that's the weird thing about, like, the internet and, like, you know, here we can discover things that happened, like, 5,000 years ago or something. We can dig it up. But, like, in the future, they're just going to be able to look up and be like, oh, yeah, this was 1,000 years ago. I'm going to listen about video games from, 1,000 years ago.
I hope that's what happens.
I mean, you can go back, like, if you go through GameCola, you can hear people talking about video games when, like, I think the first one is when Fallout 3 had, like, just come out. So, like,
Yeah.
that's pretty far back in terms of video games. That's like, so what is it's like? Was it 2008? Was
the first podcast?
First podcast.
2007, 2008 sounds about right.
Yeah. So that's almost 10 years
ago.
of podcast. You can get back pretty far. Listen to the history.
Yay, history.
When there were at least 2 less Fallouts. I don't know how. I know there's Fallout 4, and then there's also New Vegas. I don't know if there's another one after 3 though.
I don't think so. I think those are the latest 2. Yeah.
All right. So
Podcast.
If you enjoyed listening to the GameCola podcast, thank you for sticking around. If you want to email us at the podcast and have your email read out and us answer your questions, you can email us at podcast@gamecola.net. You can check us out, if you're not already there, on our actual internet website, gamecola.net. If you're listening to this, the hiatus might be over, because that's one of the major ways this podcast is going to get posted somewhere.
That's true.
Additionally, you can check us out at our YouTube channel, gc.net, the letter G, the letter C, the word dot, and the word net. You can check out videos that we've done. There's uploads of the podcast there, and video series. Right now, I think the 2 main things that are going on are the Virtue's Last Reward playthrough, which has started to pick back up, as well as the playthrough of Nathaniel Hoover's Super Mario World hack, Super Impossible Mario. So you can check those out. You can check us out on social media stuff. Just search GameCola on Facebook and Twitter. If you're interested in keeping up to date with the podcast on your mobile device, you can check us out on iTunes and rate us highly if you like us.
If you don't like us, maybe just, don't go to iTunes. Why would you ever want to go there?
What's iTunes? I don't know.
And in terms of what's relevant right now, I think that's it. So thank you for listening to this edition of the GameCola podcast. We'll see you next month once summer hits around, and probably get a bigger cast going.
Maybe.
People's schedules free up some more. But thanks for stopping by and listening, and see you next month. Bye.
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 If it didn't mess with a file name, I'd call this podcast NewSite.JPEG.